you've touched on some really great things, Ivan. You've touched on funding and you've touched on structuring. I'm going to start with the structuring because funding is another topic and we'll get to that. But when it comes to starting a business, I want to encourage everyone who is out there, you do not have to get it registered before you start.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. This is another edition of Iwing Marketplace Chit Chat where we give entrepreneurs the opportunity to talk about themselves and what they do. Today we are with a very smart lady. I'm very happy today, because she's here with us and she's going to give us a lot of nuggets. She's doing amazing things out there. She's smart, she's a wonderful person, and I would like her to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her, especially the fact that there will be people watching that have never heard of her. So she's going to say her name and all that.
Absolutely. Except when you started describing, I was not sure who you were talking about. If it's say me, but thank you. My name is Lilly Mbinglo, and I'm a licensed CPA, certified public accountant. I'm the founder of the company called the ARC NPS, which stands for Now Providing Solutions. We are currently in 3 states. We're a CPA firm, and we provide accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, tax, and startup services for businesses, individuals, and nonprofits.
Wow, that's amazing. And Miss Spicy Week said she loves your hair.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
Right. So this our next question, I mean, it's kind of tricky, but you have to tell us honestly, how you get here. Because a lot of time, people become CPA and then they work in a big firm. Yes. But you decided to start your own business.
Yes.
Why?
Yes. So for me, it was really about the passion to help. I've always wanted to help people, and I always felt like if I have all this information and I'm not helping people transform their lives and their businesses and improve the way they do things, then it's pointless, right? And so I made it a point to start to disseminate information. I started by teaching people on Facebook Live, Wednesday morning talks. I started a business, and I was like, you know what? I just want to bridge the gap. So getting here really has been that desire to add value to what people are doing, people in our community, and even people not in our community, but just wanting to add value and make a difference.
Wow, that's amazing. I used to watch some of the videos. I've known you for a long time, and those are the things that actually really inspired me to also get out there and try to do more stuff, But you mentioned a couple of services that you provide. Yes. I would really like to know, what are you known for? What are you best known for?
I like that, right? Forgive me, every time you see me doing this is because my ears are very small, so the earphones keep falling. So I apologize for that. But I am known for several things, I would say, but I don't want someone to think I'm one of those confused entrepreneurs. I am like a bridge. I'm a bridge to business people. I'm a bridge to nonprofits. I'm a bridge to individuals. So if you're a business person who wants to have structure in your business, you want to have accurate financial records, you want someone who can advise you on tax decisions, on things that you can do to really benefit from the tax system, minimize your taxes, and grow. I'm that person. Same with nonprofits. I've invested a lot of times to learn about nonprofits inside out. So I'm like a CPA with a nonprofit expertise as well. So I can help them not only start, but also sustain what they're doing. And then for individuals, there are people who are at different levels of their lives, who are students, who are trying to get married, who want to make major decisions in their lives and need some kind of guidance. So I am like that bridge. That's how I call myself. I'm the bridge to a better life.
Wow.
Better financial life.
Wow, you won't believe this, but we have Stella Damakus, the popular Nigerian
That's my girl.
Joining us. This is wonderful. I don't know whether to scream or
Stella,
how to
I love you.
But this is amazing. Thank you so much, Stella, for joining us. I'm a huge fan, by the way. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I just got carried away with Stella. I don't even know where to start.
Stella, see what you do.
So a lot of time, a lot of people are confused with these terminologies, like what is a CPA, like some small business owners. Sometimes they even do wonder, like, if they can hire a CPA or they need to have a lot of money before they can contact a CPA. What can you say about that?
Okay, so it's important that I explain what that is. So in the life of a business person, when you're trying to keep accurate records, make sure that you're compliant. There are three people you can deal with. You can deal with a bookkeeper, you can deal with an accountant, or you can deal with a CPA. So a bookkeeper is someone who helps you record financial transactions, what's coming in, what's going out. An accountant will help you prepare financial statements. Now, a CPA is someone who has invested the time educationally and has also met certain state requirements to pass an exam and become licensed to operate. So this person can make even opinions on financial statements that will be given a lot of weight. So a CPA, of course, costs more because of the time it has taken to become that, to meet, to become certified and licensed to operate. However, a CPA is that person that gives you the big picture. So a CPA will take those financial statements that a bookkeeper has prepared or an accountant has prepared and look at it and tell you where you can save on taxes, where you can improve, how you can take your business to the next level. So that's really the difference between all of this. But can they do the same thing, all of them? To an extent, yes, except the bookkeeper and the accountant cannot give and cannot audit a public company's financial statement, and they cannot give an opinion on the accuracy of a financial statement.
Wow, thanks for breaking it down like that. I mean, I've learned a lot just by listening, you breaking it down. So you mentioned something about taking a business to the next level. There are so many people who are still, they have the idea and they're still trying to start.
Yes.
And there are so many people who want to take it to the next level.
Yes.
But like for us, people of color, funding is a biggest problem.
Yes. Yes.
Apart from funding, there's lack of information. People usually don't know if they should start.
Yes.
Or they should register the business before they start, or they should just start the business. What can you say about that?
Oh my God, you've touched on some really great things, Ivan. You've touched on funding and you've touched on structuring. I'm going to start with the structuring because funding is another topic and we'll get to that. But when it comes to starting a business, I want to encourage everyone who is out there, you do not have to get it registered before you start. As a matter of fact, you can start a business right now with your name. Your social security is a tax ID number. You can use that and you will still be able to get some tax benefits as a business person. So it's important that I tell people, because I've seen people with great ideas and they're very concerned about going through the process of getting a business set up. So I will tell you, if you have an idea that you're not sure and you want to test run it, go ahead and start with your name. Now, if you want to have a separate name that you want to use, it's only fair that you get it registered somehow, right? So you can get a DBA, which is called doing business as. So if Lilly wants to do business under the name, awesome. I would say I'll get a DBA where Lilly is doing business as awesome. It's called a fictitious name. That's not registering your business per se. It's just giving you permission to use that name. And you can still get an employer identification number from the IRS, open a bank account, and still operate. So you don't necessarily need to get to register your business at the Secretary of State. Now, should you do it? Yes, there are certain reasons that you could. And it's not for everyone. If you're just starting off, you don't have to. But if you think, okay, I'm going to grow, if you think I'm going to need certain kinds of funding, if you think I'm going to have partners, if you think, okay, we want to brand, we might hire employees, then that's definitely a conversation to have. And go to the right person who really knows what they're doing.
Okay, that's really nice. I mean, I hope this will help so many people out there who stuck in whether to start or whether to register their business. But talking about funding, I mentioned before, how can people, want to start a business in our community, especially on Iwing Marketplace, where we have so many small business owners that cannot expand their business or do because of funding. How can they raise funds, and I know like an accountant or a CPA, it's good to have proper financial record. How can
Yes.
that help them, you know?
I'm so happy you brought that. Like, you're really helping to make this easy for me. So funding, like everything, the amount of funding you can get depends on your process and what you've put in place before getting to the level where you're seeking funding. So to start, I tell everybody, please get a job, work, save money, and use your money to start. Because there's no reason I should come give you money to start something when I don't even know if you're going to succeed. So now when you start, you save your money, work. You know, you don't have to quit your job simply because you're starting a business. If it fails, you always have your job. But while you're working, you can start doing your business. And then you want to make sure that you're tracking every single thing. The reason you need to track is because if you do not have accurate financial records, you would never know what it costs you to get to this point, what you've had to spend in each category, and where you even have needs where you need to spend some more. Now, when you have kept accurate records and you have realized that, hey, my business is doing well, we're bringing in money, and this is what is costing us to generate money, you can walk into a bank, you can go to an investor, you can say, hey, this is what I've been able to do, this is how much I've generated already. But in order for me to serve more people, in order for me to produce more, I would love additional funding. And if you look at my financial records, you can see that all this money has been going into this, this, and this to generate this amount of money. So if you give me this amount, I'll be able to apply it in this light and produce 100, 500% more and bring in more revenues. So, all of those things, it starts from when, you have the idea and you say, let me start tracking every single thing.
Wow, Lily,
Yeah.
you are a huge blessing to us. You are a huge blessing. Thanks so much. This is valuable information you're putting out there, and
Yeah.
we really appreciate this.
Thank you.
Let's look at also, there are people who want to start up an NGO to help their community.
Oh, yes.
But they don't know where to start, and they don't know how to raise funding to execute projects.
Yes.
But they have very beautiful projects. For example, I was talking to CAMSA.
Yes.
The new CAMSA, and the one of their target this year is to get registered as an NGO, because before they had that status, but they lost it. They lost it. So what advice do you have for people who lost their NGO status?
Oh, that's good.
And for people who want to incorporate as an NGO?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. So there are two things in play here. First, the people that have the heart to serve. As you already know, I have such a passion for nonprofits because it takes a lot of sacrifice to run one. What I'll tell anybody wanting to start is don't do it on your own. Focus on putting a business plan together. Figure out what you want to do, who you want to serve, how you want to raise money, and who are the people you're going to get involved in. But make sure you go to a professional, because they would know what kind of entity to register, what the next steps are. Don't try to do it on your own. I've seen so many people make that mistake. So I would say once you have your plan together and you know that this idea can work, go to a professional. That's what we do. We help people start nonprofits. But if you come to us and you think, you know what, maybe I connect with somebody else, you can still do that. Just make sure they know what they're doing. Now, for somebody who has lost their status, it can be reinstated. Again, go back to somebody who knows what they're doing. And a lot of times people lose their nonprofit status because of compliance. They have not filed their taxes for 3 years straight. That's why you should not try to do these things on your own. Go to people that know what they're doing, because we would advise you, we would remind you of those compliance things you have to do, so that way you don't fall off the tracks, because it costs money. You're going to pay the same money to set up like you would pay to reinstate. You see how it is, and that could hold you back. It could prevent you from getting grants because you've lost your status, and it's not a good thing for any organization.
Wow. A lot of this information, I am hearing this for the first time. That's how happy I am. Guys, if you don't connect with Lilly Mbinglo of the Ask MPS, then you really don't want to progress in life.
No,
you know what I mean? She is full of, she's a resourceful person. She's knowledgeable about all these things. So, but let's go back to business. A lot of people want to register their business. They already have been, pursuing their business, and they are operating in their basement. But, going out there, they usually are confused if to register as a sole proprietor or as an LLC.
Yes. Oh, that's good.
Right. So, what's the difference? And
what's the difference?
Which is the best to go with?
Let me try to give as much as I can within the time I have.
I know.
So, a sole proprietor proprietor is anybody that is doing business as an individual on their own level, right? So you can be a sole proprietor without even registering as an LLC, and you can register as an LLC and operate as a sole proprietor. It just means you're the sole owner of the business. Now, there are three major different types of entities you can do at the start. You can either register as an LLC if you're by yourself. If you have a partner, you can register. An LLC is a limited liability company. Or you can register as a partnership if you have partners. Or you can do a corporation. Now, if you don't plan to really go public, down the road, sell, launch an IPO and anything, like go on the stock market, you don't really need a corporation. You could, because we also have ways that we could work around that. But, these things are so complex to speak within a few minutes. But that's not something I would worry too much. So for a small business person, I would say go for an LLC. If you have partners, then you go for a limited liability partnership. And the reason is because if something were to go wrong, your personal assets will be protected and someone will only come for that. So what I would tell you, if you're thinking of getting structured, don't try to figure it out on your own. Have a conversation with someone like myself or someone who does it. Just don't go to an accountant, or just don't go to someone who says, I register businesses, because a lot of them have had people in different structures that don't benefit them tax-wise. And now we're having to, file different things, with IRS and all of that. Oh, one thing, and I'm sorry, I need to say this. When you register your business, the beauty about it is we can make certain elections for you where you can get even more tax benefits from the IRS as you grow. So if you register as an LLC, you have a chance for us to elect for you to be treated as an entity called an S Corp for the IRS, which has a lot of tax benefits when your company starts to grow. And those are things that we could talk on one-on-one, and you can get the best advice on that.
Lilly Mbinglo, you will not stop amazing me. Wait, how is these things in some part of your brain that you just remove and then you're dishing out, or what? You just have the resource ready at all times. Yes. No, but we've talked a lot about business. Yes. Now let's go into personal issues, right?
All right.
Yeah, because now it's like you're artificial intelligence, like a lot of information. But what do you do? When you're not working, when you're not doing this, meeting clients.
Yeah. So I am in school, by the way. I'm doing my doctorates, and so I get to do a lot of research. So when I'm not working and I'm not meeting clients during the weekends, I do a lot of studying. And then if I'm not doing any of that, I love to dance. So I would be somewhere where there's a good DJ and good music, or I'll be spending incredible time with my daughter. I have a great daughter. So now when all of these are out of the equation, I'll be reading a good book. I love to, if there's a good book any of you know out there, let me know. I'm reading this one right now. It's incredible. I'm always in for a good book, or, just chilling by myself.
Wow, that is beautiful. But one last question. There are so many of our young brothers and sisters in Cameroon, in Nigeria, in Europe, they want to start up a business. I get some of them asking me, like, is it possible for them to register their business in the US?
Ivan, I want to hug you for asking that question, because these are questions people do not ask me. Yes, I can register a business for anybody anywhere in the world. I can register a nonprofit for people that are in Nigeria so that they can get people in the US to donate to them. People in Cameroon, if you have a nonprofit in Cameroon, you want to register in the US, we can absolutely do that. And people in the US can donate to you and write it off in their taxes. If you're in Cameroon, you want to have a business entity here in the US, we can absolutely do that. I wish I can say this more. I've been encouraging so many people in the background and saying, hey, I see you doing great stuff. Instead of just always trying to find people in the US that will get on Facebook and advertise it, get it registered here, and when people see that, they even have more respect for you and want to do business with you. So thank you for that question. Yes, we can register businesses for people in Cameroon, anywhere in the world, here in the US, and you can operate. You just need to find the right people to partner with to help you facilitate that.
Oh, that's very nice. And one of my young cousins will be very happy to hear this. He has a beautiful platform he's coming up with. It's called WhatsApp. People in the US will be able to transfer money easily to Cameroon, and many beautiful things, So, Lilly, this has been very wonderful.
Yeah.
And this last 30 seconds, I usually leave it to you to, you know, say whatever you want to say to our audience, or,
Yes.
you know.
So for anyone who is watching, anyone who is listening, the only way you can make it big is by owning your own business. So if you have an idea, if you have, you know, something that you've wanted to take to the next level, don't waste any more time. COVID-19 has proven to us that nothing can be relied upon. So this is a good time to seriously think about having businesses, to start something. If you're a business owner already, I think the best thing you can do for yourself is make sure you're keeping accurate financial records. Not only is it going to help you plan, strategize, and grow, but it's going to help you save a lot in taxes and attract investors. For people who are in the nonprofit world, if you have a heart to serve, do not waste any more time. You know, right now things are changing. You know, the laws are changing. There's a lot, you know, there are a lot more people willing to support what you're doing. Reach out to someone who can help you set up your entity and get to work. There's so much more we can do right now. We cannot sit and fold our arms anymore.
Wow, Lily, this has been amazing. I mean, I love us to just keep talking, but you know, sometimes every good thing has an end, you know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
But thank you so much for joining us today. You know, we really, really appreciate it, especially the fact that you've shared with us tons of information, a lot of nuggets, as they say nowadays.
Yes.
So, but thank you all for joining us. I see so many beautiful people, you know, watching and commenting. You know, we really appreciate that, you know. And
thank you guys.
A special thanks to Miss Spicy Weeks, who was like one of the first person to be here.
Yeah.
And Clarice in Texas, who has baby clothes. I mean, she's doing wonderful. Guys,
Yeah,
check One Clarice. That's
yes.
her Instagram handle,
Nice.
One Clarice. Make sure you follow her. Make sure you shop for her, from her. Thank you again, Lily. And
thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay,
yes.
we are out.
Yes.